If you've been watching a lot of my videos over the last few months, you'll know there's one name I rave about as the perfect midfielder for Ineos. That name is Carlos Baleba. I go on and on about him and I say, look, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I was literally saying it on my live stream earlier today at 4 o'clock. I was literally pre-recording for the lowdown, which is going to go out tomorrow on Sky. So make sure to check that out about Baleba and how it's not realistic. We won't get him, but I dream of it. Manchester United might actually be able to get Carlos Baleba, guys. Brighton do agree to letting Carlos Baleba go this summer, but only if a certain price is matched. And Manchester United know Baleba's going to be expensive. So they wouldn't be inquiring about the deal if they didn't have a lot more money to spend on a midfielder, maybe. Look, is this the beginning of an Ineos redemption arc? Let's go through all the Carlos Baleba news. Let's break it down. He's open to the move. Ornstein and Romano have confirmed that we've made a move. We're interested. Are we doing a little bit of work ahead of next summer? Is he someone we plan to bring in next summer, but we'll do a bit of work early now to help us get him next summer because there will be competition? Could we get him this summer? Let's break it all down. Also, by the way, this is your 10-minute roundup, so if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button, and of course, you're welcome to subscribe down below if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. So, this came out, and when this first came out, I honestly thought it was bullshit. I honestly thought it was a load of rubbish, and I ignored. I didn't know who the source was, but apparently he was a very good Cameroonian journalist. So then I was like, okay, let me see if anyone else says anything. When I first saw it, I thought probably made up. When I heard he was a really good Cameroonian journalist, I said, okay, let's wait and see. But I just thought maybe because Man United fans have been begging for Baleba for the last 3 weeks on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that maybe a journalist thought they could get clicks and write an article linking us to Baleba. No, they were right. We are in for Baleba. We weren't being used for clicks because David Ornstein and Romano confirmed this, and I will talk about what they said. Breaking. Manchester United officially contacted Brighton today regarding the recruitment of Carlos Baleba. Brighton have agreed to let him leave, but for the right price, which is 100 million euros, which is 80 million pounds. So basically, Carlos Baleba is going to cost anywhere between 80 to 100 million pounds. Garnacho needs to go. Højlund needs to go. Maybe another sales needed. Maybe Casemiro off the wage bill to make that happen. I do feel like we're going to spend big next summer on a midfielder because Casemiro's contract will be gone and he will be off the wage bill for good. So, but wow. We haven't even got Sesko over the line, and we know we're about to spend. We've literally made a 70 million bid for Sesko. We know that we're going to get that done. I don't know Man United. We got Cunha, we got Mbumo, and then we dropped 70 million bid on Sesko, another attacker, wrapping up Sesko, and then we're starting to watch the Baleba. I was worried that getting Sesko meant that we were not going to be able to afford a proper midfielder. I'm happy to have Onana in goal next season if all the money went on Carlos Baleba. And also, Cameroonian Onana, Cameroonian Mbumo, they're helping us get Baleba. Lenny Rowe was him at Lille. Apparently, he's open to the move. Liverpool have interest, but I don't think they're expected to move this summer. We know that Tottenham have had an interest, we know that Arsenal have an interest, but I think all of those clubs will be moving for him next summer anyway. So maybe we're thinking maybe we should get him now because next summer there's more competition. Like, he's open to the move, apparently. We're going to get into that. But yeah, I didn't believe the news. And then we got the Ornstein bomber. Man United contact Brighton via intermediaries to explore conditions of deal for Carlos Baleba. Brighton do not plan to sell this summer, and all sides are aware a move may be unrealistic. So we've got to mention it may be unrealistic because of finances. Manchester United are keen and should know in the coming days if plausible or not. All that means is we want Baleba. Brighton don't want to sell, but Brighton have a price, and if we are willing to match Brighton's price, the deal is possible. Now, I think this is one that could drag on to deadline day with Chelsea looking for Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, the bomb squad as they're called, all of that. Romano also said the same thing. So we know we're actually in for Baleba. And I'm going to actually go to the source that broke the news initially in the first place, which I thought was a nonsense source, but their credibility has gone up. Manchester United approached Carlos Baleba's camp this week to be informed on the player's situation. Brighton plan to keep Baleba at the club as price tag would be very high, seen as a difficult deal. But Manchester United plan to try and get a new midfielder after Sesko. So Romano's confirmed, not goalkeeper. New midfielders next on the agenda after Sesko. And I think Ineos watched that pre-season game versus Everton, probably saw the Agate performance and went, yeah, we need a midfielder. It's all fine having that great attack. But one, the better midfielder, the more ball progression, so the more chances attack get. But we could score a lot more goals. But if we start conceding more goals because there's holes in the midfield, Carlos Baleba's the dream. Will be difficult. I'm sure there's midfield alternatives to him. I think what Manchester United are doing is this is the dream target. Let's inquire. Let's see what we need to get it done. Let's see if we can finance this. And if we can't, we move on to other targets. And acting, I think Man United are acting well. I can't believe we're acting like a proper club. We've made 3 good signings and we're literally not even finished Sesko and we've started to inquire about the midfielder, to look at the price, look at the conditions. If we can't get him, I'm sure we'll look elsewhere. And I think we're going to bring in a midfielder by the end of the window, which gets me excited, as long as it's the right midfielder. So this guy was the first guy to say the news, by the way, before Romano, before Ornstein, which is crazy. As I thought this was a bit of I never really believed this guy. And he said, Manchester United have reached out to Brighton in the last few hours regarding the talented Carlos Baleba, and sources close to the situation reveal that Baleba is eager to join and discuss a move to Old Trafford. When I saw that, I ignored it. I thought, someone's making it up. Clicks. I'm not going to report on it because it came out about 6 o'clock. I said, I'm not going to bother reporting on it. Probably being used for clicks. David Ornstein was crediting him. Fair play. Fair play. We also got updates from L'Equipe. Manchester United are interested in Baleba and had contacted Brighton to find out the terms of the deal. So basically the same as everyone said. And apparently Amorim has made Baleba one of the pillars of his future Manchester United project. And United's management already knows that the price will be high. So we know the price will be high. But even though we know the price will be high, we've inquired about a deal. We've gone in for a deal. And he's the guy Ruben Amorim wants. And of course he's the guy Ruben Amorim wants. I will say, if we compare Ruben Amorim's talent ID to Ten Hag's talent ID, wow. Obviously, Ineos play a part, Ten Hag had Murta and Arnold. But Ten Hag just wanted players that were Dutch, played with him before, played with him, or like Weghorst or Anthony and all of his ex-players. Whereas Amorim's talent ID is like Bumo, Cunha, Sesko, Baleba. I mean, Ineos will play a part there. But I'm going to round up basically the main points on Carlos Baleba. This is your 10-minute roundup, and it's just the Carlos Baleba show, guys. Wow. So this is the key update. Man United reached out to Brighton to explore a deal. Brighton's stance is they've agreed to let Baleba leave for the right price, but that will be no less than £80 million. Baleba's keen on United. Sources reveal Baleba is eager to discuss a move to Old Trafford. The player's situation and prices, Brighton intend to keep him. They don't want to sell him, but United push. Brighton will sell him for 100 million and buy a Gomez for 25. That's what will happen. And United will know in the coming days if a deal is plausible. So it could be an exciting few days ahead. Ruben Amorim has made Baleba a pillar of his future project. United's management are aware that the fee will be very high. So that's just a general roundup of the news that we have on Carlos Baleba and what's going on. But yeah, Romano said a few things since on his YouTube channel. Romano basically said that Baleba is our top midfield target. Why wouldn't he be? He's amazing. Amorim told the board early on that the squad needs more players with the right intensity. If you look at the physical attributes, Baleba has all the perfect physical attributes that Manchester United want and Manchester United need in a midfielder. Baleba is seen as the perfect fit for Amorim's style because he is, and I've been saying that for a while. The deal will be complicated. There's only 23 days left in the window was the main points that Romano said. And Ornstein also mentioned, without getting some lucrative sales over the line, it would be difficult for Manchester United to do. In fact, it's probably improbable that United could do it without big sales. Manchester United, we know they want a midfielder, and we want someone up front. They're the key positions. And Ornstein is saying, we're working on Sesko. We like Baleba, but we will need some sales for this to happen after Sesko. But Baleba's the guy that we want. He's among the top of our targets. We're inquiring about him. I think there'll be more competition next year. So that is good to see from United. So yeah, I can't believe we're going in for Baleba. Honestly, I was talking about it earlier on the lowdown. That's going to be out on Sky Sports, I think 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure to check that out tomorrow, by the way. And I was literally going, you know what? Oh, it'll be, I don't think we'll get Baleba. No chance we're getting Baleba, but here's my alternatives. There's a chance. I'm still not confident we get it, but do you know what I'm happy about? I don't know if we get it. I don't know if we're going to get him. I don't know if we're going to get the deal done. But what I'm happy about is the fact that we're going for him. To know that we're actually in for him. Because we've been talking about Baleba for ages, but we've not had credible links to him. And it's like, how many times have we been saying we should go for this midfielder, go for that midfielder? And United don't go for that midfielder. And they go to a rival and they end up really good. The player that we're talking about, we're actually in for. To know that the player we want, to know the player we've been talking about for ages, we're actually in for me, is a huge positive. At least, even if we don't get him, at least I know we're looking at the right kind of players. And that makes me more confident about the project. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.